They're making a list, but they are not checking it twice. And no, I am not talking about Santa and his little helpers at the North Pole. I am talking about Pam Bondi and her Department of Justice. According to a leaked DOJ memo obtained by one of the best investigative journalists out there, Ken Klippenstein, Pam Bondi has directly ordered the DOJ to start assembling a list of what she calls domestic terrorists who express any form of anti-American sentiment. Because, of course, being anti-American is somehow terrorism. Expressing anti-American sentiment is actually one of the most American things you can do. It is enshrined and protected within our Constitution. That First Amendment allows you to go out there and say the most un-American things you want to say without fear of the government coming in and saying you committed a thought crime. That's not how this works, but it's how it works under Pam Bondi's Department of Justice. So let me read you this. The memo, again, Ken Klippenstein got this, best there is out there, expands upon National Security Presidential Memorandum 7 NSPM 7, which is a directive signed by President Donald Trump in late September that demanded a national strategy to investigate and disrupt networks, entities, and organizations that foment political violence so that law enforcement can intervene in criminal conspiracies before they result in violent political acts. The new Bondi memo instructs law enforcement agencies to refer suspected domestic terrorism cases to the Joint Terrorism Task Forces, which will then undertake an exhaustive investigation contemplated by NSPM 7 that will incorporate a focused strategy to root out all culpable participants, including organizers and funders, in all domestic terrorism activities. There's more, and I'll read it in a second, but if this were about domestic terrorism, everything they're talking about is already something the government does. Okay? That's not new. You didn't need to issue a directive to be like, hey, DOJ, go be cops. They already do that, okay? When they get wind of a potential domestic terrorist organization or group or plot, or even just violent rhetoric shared by an individual, a no-name nobody, they go and investigate. They already do that. So why would you need this double memo, Trump in September, Bondi now, to tell them to do what they're already supposed to be doing? It's not because of the actions, it's because of the new criteria that makes one a domestic terrorist. Let me read these for you again from the memo, and you tell me if you fit any of these items. The memo identifies the domestic terrorism threat as organizations that use violence or the threat of violence to advance political goals, such as opposition to law and immigration enforcement, extreme views in favor of mass migration and open borders, adherence to radical gender ideology, anti-Americanism, anti-capitalism, or anti-Christianity, support for the overthrow of the United States government, hostility towards traditional views on family, religion, and morality. Morality. They're legislating morality. We're back in the time period where you can be put on a government watch list if you're immoral. From the guy that's cheated on all 3 wives that he has? From a guy that's a convicted felon? He wants Bondi to put a list of people that are immoral? The guy that's all over the Epstein files? Really? So basically, any given topic that I talk about on any given day puts me on this list. Every piece of journalism that Ken Klippenstein himself has ever done puts him on this list. Every segment that Sam Cedar does, or David Pakman, or Kyle Kalinske, or Crystal Ball, or Emma Vigeland, or Anna Kasparian, or Cenk Uygur, or John Iadarola, Brian Tyler Cohen, everybody at Midas Touch, Everything we do is on the list. All of it. And I'm willing to bet all of us, all of you, if you attack the hypocrisy of the religious right, this administration thinks you're a domestic terrorist. If you talk about gender ideology, you're a domestic terrorist. If you have a Black Lives Matter sticker, flag, whatever, you're a domestic terrorist because you don't like law enforcement. Basically, if you're not out there being a MAGA hat wearing cult member, you're going to end up on the list. That's where we're at. These are thought crimes. We're not approaching Orwell's 1984. We're in it, folks. We are in it. We are deep into it, too. We're not just in the opening chapter. We are at the heart of the story now. Pam Bondi is making a list, a naughty list, if you will, of people who don't like Donald Trump and who don't like conservatism. And yeah, I'm willing to bet we, you, me, everybody else that does this, if we're not on it yet, we will be soon. That is how ridiculous and how oppressive this government has become. Scientists recently discovered a new evolutionary trait in puppies, and it's that they cannot grow up and reach their full potential unless you subscribe to this channel. Don't do it for me, folks. Do it for little Atlas and Judge here. Good boys. You do good. You want to say something? No? Okay.